When most people hear the word karma, they think of consequences, something coming back to reward or punish us. It's often spoken about as a kind of balance sheet. If you do something good will happen to you, and if you do something bad, it will come back around. But what if that's not the full picture? In this video, I'd like to gently explore another way of understanding karma, not as something to fear, and not as something used to judge others, but as something much deeper. You don't have to agree with this. Just stay open-minded. And let's explore it together. Hi. Welcome to my channel, where we gently explore spirituality, inner growth, reflection, and reconnecting with ourselves. Before we go deeper into this, it can help to understand where the word karma actually comes from. The word karma comes from Sanskrit, an ancient language, and it originates from Hindu traditions. In its simplest form, it means action, or the result of action. Over time, this idea has been understood in different ways. Some see it as a system of cause and effect, while others see it as something more connected to the soul and its journey. And like many ancient concepts, its meaning has gradually evolved as it has been shared across different cultures and beliefs. Most of us have also grown up hearing karma explained as a system of reward and punishment. You may have heard this growing up, or even found yourself thinking it at times. Do something kind, and life will reward you. Do something harmful, and life will eventually correct you. It can even be spoken about quite harshly, as though karma is something that catches up with people, or proves who was right and who was wrong. And while this idea may seem simple, it can also create judgment, fear, and even a quiet sense of superiority. If karma were simply about punishment or reward, life would appear much more fair and predictable than it often feels. But many of us have seen the opposite. Sometimes people who act in harmful ways seem to experience very little consequence, at least not in the way we expect. And at the same time, people who are kind, thoughtful, and genuine can go through deep and painful experiences. You may have even found yourself quietly wondering, how is that fair? If karma is simply about justice, why doesn't life always reflect that in a clear and immediate way? We might expect consequences to appear clearly and immediately, but life doesn't seem to move in such a simple or predictable way. And if it did, we probably wouldn't find it quite so confusing at times. There is another way of looking at karma that moves away from the idea of punishment entirely. Instead of something being done to us, karma can be understood as something we choose to experience. What if, instead of something happening to us, life is something we are moving through with purpose? From this perspective, before we are born, we may create a kind of plan at a soul level. We choose certain experiences, certain challenges, and certain relationships, not to suffer, but to learn, to grow, and to understand life more fully. And within that, there is also a natural sense of balance, not something imposed on us, but something that exists within life itself. In the same way that nature moves in cycles, day and night, rising and falling, our experiences also move in a kind of balance, a quiet movement between different experiences, rather than something being given as reward or punishment. Not as punishment, but as a way of seeing and understanding both sides. Within this view, life is not limited to a single experience. The soul moves through many lifetimes, and in each one, we may take on different roles. In one lifetime, we may experience something from one side. In another, we may experience it from another. This doesn't mean we consciously remember these roles, but something within us may still be learning from them. Again, not as punishment, but as a way of understanding both perspectives. Over time, this creates a more complete and balanced awareness, rather than a simple cycle of reward and consequence. Karma, in this sense, can be seen as unfinished experience. Something that was not fully understood, processed, or resolved may be carried forward, not as a debt to be paid, but as something the soul wishes to complete. You may have noticed certain patterns repeating in your life, even when you try to move forward. Certain situations, emotions, or relationships that seem to return in different forms. From this perspective, these experiences may not be random. They may be part of a deeper process of learning and growth, something the soul has not yet fully understood and is gently being brought back into awareness. And in some cases, this may not come from this lifetime alone. It may be something carried over from previous lifetimes, something we chose to return to in order to experience it differently or to finally understand it more fully, as part of that ongoing learning. This idea connects closely with what is often described as soul contracts or a soul plan. Before entering this life, we may agree to meet certain people, experience certain situations, or move through particular challenges. Not everything is planned in detail, but certain key experiences may be. This perspective has also been explored through the work of Dolores, who used past life regression techniques. Through her sessions, many people described experiencing multiple lifetimes, and in some cases spoke about planning aspects of their lives before they were born. And within those experiences, we still have choice. We still have free will. But the opportunities themselves may be part of a much larger design. And for some people, this idea simply resonates, even if it can't be fully explained. From this perspective, the question of fairness begins to look different. Instead of asking why good things happen to some people and not others, or why difficult experiences occur, we begin to see that each person may be moving through a very different journey. What looks unfair from the outside may simply be something we don't yet understand at a deeper level. And for some people, this way of seeing things can gently open the door to forgiveness. Not because what happened was right, and not because it should be accepted or excused, but because it can shift the way we hold on to it. When we begin to see experiences as part of a much larger journey, it can become a little easier to let go of the weight they carry, to soften, even slightly. For me, this was something that took time. There was a situation where I felt deeply hurt and betrayed, and it took me around 4 years to truly forgive. And even then, it wasn't a straight line. But understanding this idea of soul plans helped me see it differently. Not in a way that dismissed what happened, but in a way that allowed me, slowly, to release it. That shift doesn't happen all at once, and it doesn't need to. But even a small change in perspective can begin to change how we feel. Understanding karma in this way doesn't remove responsibility. If anything, it deepens it. This perspective isn't about becoming passive or accepting everything as it is. Because even if an experience was part of a larger plan, how we respond to it still matters. The choices we make, the awareness we bring, and the way we treat others all shape how that experience unfolds. Karma is not something happening to us. It is something we are actively participating in. Alongside karma, there is another concept often spoken about, called Dharma. If karma is the experiences we move through, then Dharma can be understood as how we choose to live within those experiences. In simple terms, it's the way we choose to show up in our lives. It is the direction we take, the values we embody, and the way we respond to life as it unfolds. While karma may shape the path, Dharma shapes how we walk it. So perhaps karma is not about punishment or reward at all. Perhaps it is about experience, understanding, and growth across a much wider journey than we can see from one lifetime alone. You don't have to fully agree with this perspective, but even considering it can soften the way we see ourselves and the way we see others. Instead of judgment, there may be more understanding. Instead of fear, there may be more curiosity. And instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we may begin to gently ask, "What can I learn from this?" Or, "How can I grow from this experience?" And sometimes, that small shift is where something deeper begins. Until next time, love yourself deeply. If this resonated with you, please don't forget to like the video. You're also welcome to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I love reading them, and if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing. It's completely free, and it helps support the channel. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. See you in the next one.